Welcome to the Invite Health podcast, where our degreed healthcare professionals are excited to offer you the most important health and wellness information you need to make informed choices about your health. You can learn more about the products discussed in each of these episodes and all that Invite Health has to offer at www.invitehealth.com/podcast. First-time customers can use promo code podcast at checkout for an additional 15% off your first purchase. Let's get started.
We're in a time where everyone has concerns with immune health, and I want to discuss a little bit about how the brain plays a role into this and why it's very important that we don't ignore that when it comes to different nutrients that can help to enhance the way that our brain is functioning and supporting our immune defenses. There is one product in particular that I do want to really zero in on today and highlight just why it's so incredibly beneficial for so many different areas within the way in which the brain is working each and every single day. So I'm Amanda Williams, MD, MPH, and let's get right to it. The immune system with our Cognition HX formulation. This is a comprehensive nutrient blend. It has our phospholipid in it, so it has phosphatidylserine. We're getting the acetyl L-carnitine. So once again, we think about crossing that blood-brain barrier, having that acetyl group allows for that amino acid carnitine, easier transport into the brain to generate up that cellular energy. We've got ginkgo biloba in this, we have huperzine in this, and we have NADH. And we know that NADH is one of those areas in research right now where scientists just can't get enough. And this is coming from the B vitamin niacin. So what we know about NADH is that this allows for a significant ability to boost up our energy production. And it also helps to facilitate a better recycling of our natural antioxidants, things like ubiquinol. So we now see that nicotinamide adenine, which is NADH, this is just kind of that area of research right now where we just keep learning more and more. And I think it's important that people understand that when we think about energy and mental alertness, that something as simple as a vitamin B3 derivative, this NADH, is playing such a critical role in how our body is maintaining this cellular capability to fend off immunosenescence. So I know sometimes we think immune system is one, brain health is another. No, we have to be able to draw that correlation and that link once again. And then, having the ginkgo biloba in there, this we know is definitely one of those areas where, because of its powerful antioxidant components that are contained within ginkgo, that this is what really potentiates, once again, much of that support when we think about our immune defenses. So being able to heighten the body's ability to fend off oxidative stress, even if you were taking ginkgo just for that purpose alone, we know that we're getting that immune system support. But we also recognize that the ginkgo is really helping to support healthy circulation, maintaining the normal function and tone of the blood vessels. So all of these things that we know that through the aging process can start to take a hit. And this is why when we think about ginkgo biloba, it goes far beyond that of just for memory and for circulation. We now recognize that ginkgo has been studied to support gut health. And they've actually done studies looking at how ginkgo could target peptic ulcers that were brought on by H. pylori. The way that it was actually working was through the enhancement of superoxide dismutase. So once again, kind of going back and drawing upon those endogenous antioxidants and how this can help to heighten up the body's ability for rapid repair and targeting these harmful things such as bacteria. We have seen ginkgo over the last few years too, being shown to have antiviral properties. And they actually looked at anti-influenza activity of ginkgo. This was in the Journal of Natural Medicine. This was roughly about a decade ago, looking once again at how ginkgo can help the immune system fend off influenza. And the way in which it's doing this is through its antioxidant ability, but also through this finite ability to work or communicate with the immune cells to be able to rid the body of the influenza. And once again, we always think about viruses. How can we stop their replication? It appears that ginkgo does a lovely job at doing this. So back to the Cognition HX. We know that we have all of these power nutrients that have been studied independently for their ability to really support good cognition as we get older. We have that phospholipid, the phosphatidylserine in there to maintain the structural integrity of the brain. When we think about that atrophy, that shrinking of the brain, we know that we need those key fats to maintain that structure. And then we know that we need to be able to increase energy production. We know that we need to be able to fend off oxidative stress. We know that we need nutrients that are going to allow for proper cellular communication between those brain cells. And that's what these individual nutrients have been studied for. So when you combine them all together, the Cognition HX is this very comprehensive way to optimize your brain's overall ability to make energy, the metabolism of the brain, the activity, the true functionality of the brain. But at the same time, we're also supporting the immune system when we think about immunosenescence. And we know that immunosenescence is a real thing, and it's something that we definitely don't want to ignore or take for granted. So we want to do what we can as far as healthy diet, exercise, taking in the nutrients that we know can support our brain, our heart, our immune system. And this is why the Cognition HX formulation is really incredibly comprehensive, because while its name implies cognition for cognitive function, we're certainly yielding those benefits throughout the entire body when we're using this formulation. And this is why I wanted to discuss it today, because each one of those nutrients within this formulation are so incredibly powerful in their own right, and the science behind how those individual nutrients are working, from the ginkgo, from the NADH, looking at the acetyl L-carnitine, looking at obviously the phosphatidylserine. So we know that this is a powerhouse when it comes to brain health, but we now recognize it to be so much more than just for optimizing the health of our little neurons in our brain. We can certainly gain that benefit when it comes to really enhancing the immune defenses, even within the brain as well as throughout the body. So that is all that I have for you for today. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the Invite Health podcast. Remember, you can find all of our episodes for free wherever you listen to podcasts, or by visiting invitehealth.com/podcast. Now, do make sure that you subscribe and you leave us a review. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health, and we will see you next time for another episode of the Invite Health podcast.